Welcome everybody to another Dave's Retro Reviews. This is Dave D. Saint, about to speak about a movie that I saw years ago. It was back in 2003, but being that the sequel is coming out today that I'm going to watch today, I just recently watched it, which is Freaky Friday. So Freaky Friday, you can find it at Disney Plus. It released August 6th, 2003, and it was directed by Mark Waters. It starred Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis, Chad Michael Murray, and many more. It was based on a 1972 novel by the same name, and it's the third adaptation of the novel, as well as being the fifth installment overall in the Freaky Friday franchise. The film deals with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan as mother and daughter who inadvertently switch bodies through the magic of Chinese fortune cookies. I just recently watched this movie. This is my second time watching this movie since I saw it in the theaters back in 2003. I was like, what, late teens when I went to see this movie. Yeah, I think I was fresh out of high school. Yeah, I graduated 2001. No, I'm lying. I graduated 2002. I should have graduated way before, but I stayed back a lot. But I remember that I went to go see this with my ex-girlfriend because she was a big Lindsay Lohan fan. And I remember watching this, but I don't remember really paying much attention to it. Like, I saw it because of her. She used to like all those girl movies. Anything that with Lindsay Lohan, I went to go watch because she wanted to see it, or Britney Spears, or those teen dramas. I mean, teen comedies. But I never really cared to watch it over again until now because Freakier Friday is kind of like a revival of my childhood. Freaky Friday is bringing back one of the classics. A lot of the movies like Final Destination, Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer. There's a lot of movies who are getting sequels or prequels or in betweenquels or remakes, and it's nice to see my childhood come back, or my teenage years come back in a sense, and I get to relive it somehow. So I decided to revisit Freaky Friday, and I really enjoyed the second viewing. Didn't really remember. I remember vague pieces, but not the whole movie. And I just found it really, really funny the way Jamie Lee Curtis acted like a teenager, and I just found myself giggling and laughing because it was funny. I didn't remember this movie as well as I thought I did. And it's just, I remember I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking about, like, I remember watching this movie in the theaters, and for a quick second it almost took me back, like I transported transported myself back to when I was watching in the theaters, and I just kept thinking of like what I was going to do that day, or where I was going with my ex-girlfriend. And at the same time I was thinking about her and what she was doing and where she's at today, where I'm at today in life. And it was just I don't know, it was like an awakening of some sort. I don't know. The movie was really good. I didn't think that movie was that great. As a teenager watching these kid movies or watching these movies at that mindset, you don't really care. But like thinking about it, like imagine me at my age right now speaking to the teenager that I was back then, and it's almost like a Freaky Friday kind of an idea, thinking about that. Like, what would I be telling that guy, that kid, or what did that kid tell me, and how would our lives change, and how, I was just thinking about Jamie Lee Curtis being older, and she puts on the glasses when it's the daughter, when she's in her body, and she goes like, oh my gosh, she's blind. And that's where I'm at right now. I wear these glasses. These glasses are progressive lenses, and it helps me see because my eyes aren't as good as. That's crazy. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and I'm slower. I'm tired. I'm worried about things and anxiety and frustrations and all that stuff. And just seeing that guy who I used to be, and I don't know. To me, this movie was phenomenally done. honestly, I can't. I'm not gonna review. I'm not gonna say any ratings on it or anything. This movie was just great. I never, it opened up my mind, different perspective, to see the guy that I am today and understand what Jamie Lee Curtis's character was feeling to the guy that I was back then, and understand also what Lindsay Lohan was going through. And to think that time has passed by so quick. That was 2003. We're in 2025. I literally just time traveled back in time, rewatched this movie, and what a great movie. I saw it once, like I said, and I didn't care for it. But now that I see it again, it opened up my eyes and it made me see something totally different. It wasn't like an epiphany or nothing like that, but it made me see what it's like to be a parent and a child. And I have two different perspectives. I don't have any children, but to imagine, wow, that's crazy. Like, watch it at one point when you were a teenager, and now the second viewing is me as an adult, and I just time traveled through time. For me, I don't know, it was such a great movie. If you've not seen it, it's on Disney Plus. Watch it with your kids. And maybe you guys will be able to understand each other a little better after watching this movie. I know it's a comedy, and I know, but it's really based on true fact, because I went through all that. Lindsay Lohan not being understood as a teenager, but then all of a sudden she switches with her mother, and she understands, she actually sees what her mom has to go through. And then Jamie Lee Curtis not being understood as a parent, but then all of a sudden she switches with her daughter, which is Lindsay Lohan, and she starts to understand what she has to go through, and they switch their bodies for a little while. Obviously, at the end they get back together, they go back to their normal bodies and everything, and they continue life, but they ended up learning a lesson. So now today I'm going to go see Freakier Friday, which is the sequel that came out after how many years? 2003 to 2025. So now in this new one, it's going to be Jamie Lee Curtis again with Lindsay Lohan, switching their bodies, but also with their granddaughter and a stepdaughter. So who knows what that's going to be like. But eventually I'll do a Dave's movie dailies on that. But yeah, this has been Dave's Retro Reviews. Just reviewed Freaky Friday 2000. Definitely check it out. It's on Disney Plus.